Welcome back to Free Speech Nation with me, Josh Howie. So Metropolitan Police Chief Mark Rowley says we need a new specialist force to protect Jewish people from a pandemic of anti-Semitism. This comes as the Prime Minister suggests pro-Palestine marches, sometimes known as the hate marches, should be stopped in certain cases. Well, joining me now is Gill Levy, former Met Police Custody Sergeant. Gill, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Big round of applause. I think they were a bit scared of you there for a second. So you are in a very unique position, Gill, because you've seen both sides in terms of the law and order element of it, and also you have been very much at the front line, attending the hate marches, attending the counter-protests. You've seen it all. First of all, let's start with this specialist police force. I think that's a terrible idea. What do you think?
I think it's a terrible idea as well. I mean,
high five!
It's just,
yeah.
Yes, agreement. I mean, it's just going to be another way for people to say Jewish supremacy.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, they have enough problem with the idea of Shomrim, which are the volunteer security service that the Jewish community put together. No, I think it's a terrible idea. I think you know, it should just be part of normal policing. If they need to put a little bit of extra resources, that's understandable. If they need to put specialist officers who understand the nature of the issues, that's understandable, but as a separate force, I mean, that just seems ridiculous.
Isn't it really just an indictment of what's happened over the last couple of years, where they're going, oh, well, something happened over the last 2 years, but now we just need to sort of silo the Jewish community up.
It's reactionary in the way that police are. So if you have a robbery problem, all of a sudden you'll have a robbery squad. If you have a burglary problem, you'll have a burglary squad created. And I think maybe that's the thinking behind it, that it's that type of reactionary nature from the Met.
Yeah, I mean, so what we have seen over the last couple of years, and I want to talk about these incidences that you are talking about and revealing what happened to you. Now they're also talking about banning the marches. What do you think about that? Because some people feel that it's not kind of banning the marches isn't the answer. Policing the marches, surely that's what they have to do.
Yes, I mean, so public demonstration is a fundamental part of our democracy. To ban any part of that is a restriction that just shouldn't be tolerated, in my mind. What we should be doing is seeing the police enforcing the laws that are in place. I mean, incitement to hatred just happens continuously. I've witnessed it at every demonstration, and it's something that the police aren't equipped. They're not thinking in the right forms. There was one time, for example, that I was abused homophobically, and the police jumped on it. They could understand that as a concept, but anti-Jewish hate is something that they seem unable to conceptualise.
So do you think it's education, or do you think that it's because I get the sense from being at these counter-protests is that the police just want to deal with the easiest solution, which is just kind of put the Jews over here and surround them and then just let the pro-Palestinian marchers just kind of do whatever they want? I
mean, I agree with you, and then what you'll have is demonstrators walking past or standing there for prolonged periods of time just abusing the Jews, as we saw previously sort of in Pall Mall. I think there is an element of it's easier to do that, but I also think, look, when there is a leader that understands the nature of the issue, and 2 weeks ago there was a demonstration in relation to an Israeli university that was fundraising, and there was a demonstration opposite chanting Intifada and so forth. Once the leaders of the police officers understood the nature of the hatred that was being incited, and they took action, it was amazing. All of a sudden, the issues were highlighted around their disrespect of police officers. Police officers were assaulted. That led to further arrests. It highlighted the issue once there was understanding. But you need to get leaders that are willing to do that, and I think that's really what you were kind of addressing.
Well, this is it. I mean, I've seen some footage. Actually, I think we have it. I believe. Did you film this footage?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's have a look at it first.
Okay.
Hey, Faraz, remember me?
Yes, I remember you.
Go on it now.
Sorry?
You want to go on it now?
Are you threatening me?
Now that we are alone.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah, you and I.
I don't know.
Let's go.
Inspector, that gentleman is still an outstanding suspect. He's an outstanding suspect. This is the second time in a row that officers of the Metropolitan Police are letting go a man who assaulted me, like the second time in a row.
It's taking you as a private citizen, and that's you in the footage, not the guy with the keffiyeh.
No.
But what was the reaction from the police when you were going up and saying, look, this guy's committed a crime?
We're too busy doing other stuff at the moment. It's too important. What we're doing, although a crime had taken place that they should be dealing with. That was actually the second time that I came across that gentleman. The first time was at a national demonstration, and what you'll get is the Jews and the Zionists will be put in the Jew pen, conditioned so by the police, and you'll have a form-up condition for the pro-Palestinian demonstration, and once they're formed up, they're then allowed to walk past the Jew pen, abuse them a bit, and then go on to their rally usually at Downing Street. So on this particular occasion, that gentleman stopped in front of the Jew pen and abused the Jews, contrary to conditions, and police officers went up and spoke to him and asked him to move on. He refused, and they didn't do anything about it. They actually were quite jovial with him. Half an hour later, when he was part of the demonstration, actually in the intervening period, I was assaulted by somebody else, but regardless, as he walked past me, he spotted me, and he hit both my camera and me, so assaulted me, and a police officer was right by me. I raised it with the police officer there and then, and the police officer, as I made the allegation, sort of waved the gentleman away. So he'd emboldened that person to assault me. And so that video is from October the 2nd, so the day of the Manchester attack at the synagogue. I went there as a vigil, but just got there a bit early, and there was a pro-Palestinian demonstration, and he saw me there and just, started to call me out for a fight. The police officers refused to deal with it. I followed the man away from the demonstration and conducted a citizen's arrest on him. Police then came. They took his details, were comfortable that they had his details correctly, and they offered him a interview at some other time. Attacking me twice wasn't sufficient. Regardless, I got this week a note from the officer in the case that said we got an authority to charge 6 days before the end of this is called the statutory limit of prosecutions, 6 days before the end of that, and they missed that period, and he's just got off scot-free, having assaulted me, having called me out for a fight, and it's just kind of typical, and he'll be emboldened to act that way in the future.
When you say it's typical, you could argue that it's a sort of microcosm of the larger picture here. The police, the Met, but also in Manchester, they will just turn a blind eye. They've turned a blind eye to people chanting for jihad, people chanting for the murder of Jews. And as you say, it emboldens them. It gets bigger and bigger. And then, in this case, you're going to have someone who's been assaulted twice, and then no one is charged. We saw men driving through North London calling for the rape of Jewish mothers and daughters. CPS didn't charge. So do you think now that you've got Mark Rowley out sort of say, we've got this, there's an anti-Semitism problem and we need to deal with it? For me, it's kind of sickening. It's like he's saying the right stuff, but it's
2 years too late. Yeah, agreed. I mean, I think we can still solve this issue with good enforcement by the police. The summer riots were dealt with very quickly when there was political pressure to do so.
The will to do so.
Exactly. We've got a case that is going ahead for an intifada chant that I think is going ahead to Crown Court in 2028. I mean, that's the limit of what I'll say about that. But justice delayed is justice denied. And so we need to have the political will to deal with it.
Yeah. I think let's have they want to have another arguably peace march, hate march that I've never seen one peace sign, by the way, pro-Palestinian march. Let's have that march. Let's get all the police out there. Let's get the army out there. And the moment anybody chants for the death of Jews, the moment there's a placard, and the moment anybody steps in to resist as well, all those people are pulled out. That's what I think should happen. And I think that we would see a massive impact if that was the case?
I mean, I would love to see it. I mean, like I said, the incident that happened two weeks ago, you had arrest squads that went in and did exactly that.
What happened? So they can do it, they just have chosen not to. Well, Met Commissioner Mark Rowley said we are seeking to recruit 300 more officers, including a dedicated group of neighbourhood and firearms officers permanently based in North West London. This is essential if we are to move beyond short-term surges and provide bespoke, lasting protection. The threat level is increasing and we need a policing model capable of meeting that challenge over the long term, not short-term fixes. Huge round of applause, please, for Gill Levy. Next on Free Speech Nation, it's time for audience questions. See you in 2 minutes.